Hey guys, and welcome to ConnorLikesTech. My name is Connor and this is my tech channel. So I'm going to keep this video nice and short for you guys. It's basically going to be a quick introduction on what's going to be going ahead in the next few months and what sort of videos you expect to see me put out. So let's start off. I'm going to be doing a series on building your first domain and sort of a networking video. It's going to be the basics such as group policy, Hyper-V, all that jazz. But I'll break it down in this video just so you know what to expect to come out from me. Don't forget, if it does sound interesting to you, please do drop a subscribe. You'll get notified as soon as my videos come out. So what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be installing a Windows Server 2016 box. I'm using this primarily because it's the newest one out at the minute and it's what I work in day to day. And it's sort of, I don't know, it's encompassed all of the past generations, 2012, 2008, into one nice package now. And I find Windows Server 2016 quite nice to use. On screen now is an evaluation link. So Microsoft do actually provide you a free ISO, which is something like 180 days free of use, which is fantastic. So I'll be definitely using that and I'll show you how to set that up in a later video. So we're going to be discussing sort of Hyper-V and virtualization. In the industry now, Hyper-V or virtualization is pretty much used across the board. It is the best way to go. It's the most cost-effective way to go. And to be honest with you, it's nice and easy. So we're going to be discussing what failover you can do with Hyper-V, what sort of replication you can do. We'll be creating virtual machines, discussing what checkpoints are used for, how they can be beneficial to you. We'll then move on to making our first domain controller. So we'll discuss the roles of a domain controller. We'll discuss about DHCP, DNS. We'll have a quick overview of what IP addressing is and sort of subnet ends involved when creating a domain controller. We'll then discuss some features to put on domain controllers such as group policy, sort of extra roles and features you can put on a domain controller to help your domain run smoothly. We'll also look at sort of what's built into a domain controller, so sysvol and how that can be used across the domain. We'll then look at file servers and sort of discuss what situations are best for yourselves. Now, because these are obviously test bench videos, I'm going to be using localized storage, but we will discuss what NASs are, what SANs are. We'll then break it down into sort of shares you put on a file server and how NTF permissions work on file servers. We'll then move on to DFS and how that can be used across several servers in terms of load balancing and failover. We'll then build our first imaging server. Now, an imaging server basically is you got a Windows 10 image, you want to put it on 50 machines. The best way to do that is by using an imaging server. So we discuss what MDT is, what WDS is. We'll be creating our first image together, and we'll also be capturing that and then looking at how to deploy that across a network. We'll also have a quick chat about SCCM. So if you are currently in a network manager role, you may use SCCM. It's quite expensive, but basically it bundles all these features together into one nice little package. We'll then discuss backups. Backups are imperative if you're going to be using your own domain. We'll talk about good practices with backups. We'll talk about different solutions that are out there for backups and also easy solutions. If you want to just back up your test environment, we'll discuss how we can do that. And again, we'll bring this all back into Hyper-V as Hyper-V has a built-in replication service, which is nice and easy to get set up and use. After all of the server-side stuff is done, we'll have a talk about what hardware you can buy. We'll talk about firewalls, routers, switches. We'll have a look at what servers are out there now, sort of what price point you want to be aiming for. And we can also discuss, if you are looking at building your first server, exactly what spec you need to have to basically implement the things we're going to look at over the next few weeks. We might even touch on a bit of Wi-Fi at the end if that's something you guys are interested in. We'll talk about what access points are available and what sort of controllers you've got out there as well. And then we'll tie it all together, hopefully, so we can discuss at the end what I do day to day, what practices I sort of implement. I can even show you potentially some of the stuff I have in place already. And yeah, I'm quite excited for it really. I'm doing these videos for myself as well as for you guys. It's always good for me to make videos like this because it identifies areas where I may have a weak understanding, so I might do a bit of research in terms of terminology. So I'm giving you guys the most accurate information I can. Like I said, if you are interested in following this series, please do click the subscribe button below and make sure you tick the little bell symbol as it will give you an email for when a new video comes out. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. Just drop a like on this video or a dislike if you haven't liked it. My name's Connor and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.